Well, we love templates, but more importantly, you love templates.
Oh, do you love templates?
And we have 3 designers, 3 new templates, and lots of things to do with them.
Right, way more than 3 techniques.
Right.
Definitely, we're going to play with the latest templates, latest tricks, and latest techniques.
Sarah, we're going to do blossoms, butterflies, dragonflies, and birds.
Wow, so we've got lots and lots of different shapes to play with.
So here's the 20 blossoms. This template was by Teresa Welch, is by Teresa. And there are, as it says, 20 mix, match, and stack is what the cut line is. So
this is going to be one of those templates that you never put away because you'll be using it all the time.
Exactly. So that's what it looks like. It's a large 12 by 12 size. And here's one way.
Here's the magic of
Wasn't that just slick?
What a beautiful effect. Now this really gives you the idea of what you can do with each of those shapes. And they're all interchangeable.
Yes.
So you can stack this little flower.
Let's get in closer so we can see. And one of the, as you said, the stacking part, and this has just been done with plain papers.
Right.
Just to kind of start us off.
Right. So you could stack this little flower on top of this larger one, or if we scoot up, you could put it onto any one of these other ones too. So you've really got an endless amount of combinations.
Yes. And don't you love the vellum leaves?
Really,
Isn't that
really pretty.
And this tendril, this vine that shoots up.
Yeah, it's a perfect way to frame the whole photograph. But okay, as a card maker, I'm thinking cut, stack, and layer, and I have got a fantastic card.
Yes. So just lots of, so those were just kind of with 2 colors.
Yeah.
So let's see what else.
Let's bring in this guy here, sweet girl, our Amanda. This is a perfect way of using those flowers too. Of course, for feminine pages and cards. Definitely also for vintage or heritage looks as well.
Let's get in tight so we can start exploring this. And some fun things have been done in mixing silks with the paper flowers.
Yeah, because this adds a little bit more dimension. So you can
even closer, yes.
You can trace them onto paper. You'll be tracing onto the back side of your paper, the white side. Turn it over, remove the template, and then cut them out. I like to use the small the short blade scissors. It just makes it a little bit easier.
And this is the tiny one on top of the great big brad, the silk flower.
Love that.
Let's go up here.
I love how she's created this bouquet, again, to cluster around the photograph so that you're creating, really creating a frame that echoes this giant circle here, and the circle is done with our easy circles.
Exactly. So. And notice right here, this one has some evacuated areas on the petals. Let's get a little bit tighter so you can really see that. That's one of the options. Throughout the template, there are there's lines that you can add, there's embellishments, and this is just one of the ideas.
So you could cut those, or you could use maybe an opaque marker and you could trace them.
And then color them in.
And color them in. If you didn't want to cut, not that person would be me. And my club.
Here is, are you ready?
I'm done now.
Okay, yes, that is good. Let's see the whole album page. Beautiful, soft look. Let's get in tighter, and they've done some distressing.
Yes, and my guess is that this is either Laura or Lene who's done this distressing, but she's taken a brown ink pad around the outside edges of the petal. Now, if you're trying to get into those little innies, a great big ink pad is a little tricky to do that.
Not gonna work.
I generally sort of roll the flower, and it's a little bit easier to get inside into those petals. Or you can use a Q-tip or a cotton bud.
Exactly.
Dip it into the ink pad and then use it to apply that.
So just these leaves, these are all flat. There's no foam tape between them. But then she's rolled the petals after doing the inking.
Yeah.
I love this. This is just with a pen.
Oh, so you can
following
trace.
that curve.
Okay.
And I also like the lines that have been done inside the petals. So it's just a beautiful cluster, and she's echoed that going right down.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful, beautiful
You know,
look.
if you didn't want to do just the pen work on here, you could also combine that with our Easy Stitches template and give a really pretty stitch look. Ooh, I'm leaving now. I'm going to play. Well, here are some more samples.
Wait, stay.
I know, I have to stay.
Let's get in tight and just explore each of these. And
let's start up here.
So there we've got some pen work.
Additional pen work, and she's done some little dots and some...
I think we need to get even closer because it's a little hard to see that that pen work that far
Some
away.
dots
There
and
you
dashes.
go.
I love that she's added the rhinestone crystal in there. It's a perfect way of doing that. You could put a brad inside there too.
Now, a striped paper, I thought this was very fun because I don't know that you'd think of a stripe knowing, kind of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's layered with solids in between them, stacked with foam tape.
Again, a perfect card focal.
Yes,
my God.
it is. Now, this one, like you were talking about,
nice.
Now, although that looks white and it could be an opaque pen, actually what she's done is she has embossed right along the line. Can you feel it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's raised.
Oh, nice.
And Laura has sanded these.
Okay, so probably using the sanding block and just swiping outward on those petals. Beautiful.
This one, she did some stamping on those petals.
Okay, and it's a perfect fit
Very
for that.
fun.
For each of those petals with that little love word.
Now here's some more, some stacking. Now each of these was matted. Well, let's back up a minute so you can see that this is a card. And you were exactly right.
That's so fun.
These are perfect size.
I love them out of the citrus papers too.
Isn't that pretty?
It
Very
really says,
fun.
Yeah, bright, fresh, and fun.
These are the new Glitter Dome self-adhesive stickers.
Okay.
And inside we have a couple more popping in.
And so she has matted each of those onto white paper. Okay.
Now, you can continue with paper. Of course, we love it. But here's a felt application.
Did she cut those out of felt?
She did. Let's get in. And
I had not thought of that, but it's a brilliant idea.
It's beautiful. And it's fuzzy and it's soft. Now, she elected to do some stitching, on the inside and on the leaf. I think they would be wonderful out of fabric, out of fabric, and then maybe kind of pull the threads.
I would think so too. You could also use a fabric stiffener with that.
Absolutely. So
see, you're going to want to go play now too.
And this card has another little one on the inside.
That's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Love the flowers.
I forgot to show you this.
I know. As soon as we stopped, we thought, oh, we have to show this because it's darling.
Isn't this cute? This is part of the Girls Create Personal Shopper Club, but this is the bouquet that was done, and each of the flowers you can see was mixed with buttons, and the chenille stem pops up through the button and then back down.
Right, because it's just a thin piece of wire, so you can weave it through. Let's tilt this a little bit. Because
and then it's just in a jar.
Isn't this the cutest thing? I'm thinking like for a coworker to put on their desk, or for you to put on your desk at work, or just a nice little day brightener for somebody who's...
It's just fun.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, moving on.
Okay, let's move on to our 15 butterflies and dragonflies.
Right.
And this is designed by our new friend, Wendy.
Yes, and she has done this template. We absolutely fell in love with it when we saw it. And just like the flower template, you can see, even from this distance, that there are multiple shapes and there's multiple ideas so far as designing.
Right.
So you could cut this one, the large one out. Well, let's just show them.
Okay, I've got an album page, so let's get right into this. And here you can see, not only are we able to do this out of paper, but we're also able to do it out of some of the specialty designs. And if you touch this little butterfly down here, this is a perfect combination.
Oh, it's felt.
It's the suede paper.
Suede, that's right. Okay, let's get in and see that.
And I love how she's incorporated brads as a little flight pattern. And then she's also just sketched directly onto the paper with a fine tip black pen some little antenna.
Let's go up here and see that large one. So a little bit of stitching. And the body is out of a separate paper.
Okay.
And there's another crystal in the antenna. Another one there.
And this, I love to have the crystal, just layered on top of the body, and then to have the brads do the flight pattern.
And then there's another one.
So pretty. Now these have also been inked around the outside edges with brown, so that helps them to stand out from the background paper a little bit more.
Very fun.
Really
and mixing
like
it
that.
in, there are no butterflies on this page, but there are flowers and swirls. So the butterflies are a great addition.
Yeah, they definitely are. Let's take a look at a card because, I'm going to use these on cards.
Shock!
Look at this, though. Taken out of the transparency.
Oh, so this is the 8x8 transparency.
Exactly.
The top part put up here, and then you've got everything left.
Right, and that's the nice thing about using the 8x8 transparency as a card, because you can cover the card, and then you've got this beautiful sentiment that's printed onto the transparency up here. But then, just as you said, you've got extra on the sides and at the bottom. Perfect for tracing.
Let's go in tighter so we can just see how the layering has been done. So there is a, underneath the transparency, she put a purple butterfly, and then the wings were cut out of the transparency and lifted up.
Right. Now, one thing about tracing onto a transparency, because you need to trace the shape, don't use your X-Acto knife through the holes in the template. I would use a Sharpie, because that way it won't it's permanent. It'll stay on there.
Right.
And then remove the template and use your scissors to cut just inside that line.
Okay.
And
remove
that'll
it.
work perfectly.
And then inside, she's even got another little guy right there.
That's so sweet. And I love how the crystals really accentuate.
They do.
The butterfly
Speaking
shapes.
of which.
Yes. Speaking of which.
So this is a more
Gorgeous.
muted color combination.